Good afternoon, and welcome to Man Cave Meditations. Let's dive in. So, I recently re-downloaded a video. I just wanted to put it out there. A few minutes ago or an hour ago or something, I downloaded a video from last November, like right after Thanksgiving. It was I think it was November 29th. Anyway, the video was the reason why I re-downloaded it was because the video was listed as unlisted. I tried to go in and do something, I just screwed it up. I deleted it. So I wanted it to be part of the library. So it's a video from 10 months ago. It was the last video I just uploaded. And yeah, that's that. If we see just everything this ongoing onslaught of chaos that's happening right now, I've been thinking about and seeing. I know I've done past videos on like the states having to like kind of come forward of their own accord, which I think they're doing more and more, which I believe is absolutely essential right now. You have the three branches of government that our founders envisioned: executive, legislative, judicial. Okay, well, executive. That's in the hands of the wannabe autocrat and his entourage. The legislative, who has both the Senate and House now, at least for the next year plus. That's in the hands of complete sycophants who have, the vast majority, if not all of them, have gone against their oath to preserve the Constitution and the will of the people. The people who voted them in. The betterment of that. And then the judicial, which, again, everything below Supreme Court, that has held admirably. But the fact of the matter is that the Supreme Court is the head of the judicial, and it has been like, in the old days of the pirate ship, it's like one pirate ship came and like took another one over. And that was like the Federalist Society or something, for the Supreme Court under Leonard Leo. They just took it over. They took over the ship. So it's all left up. It's completely out of balance. Not that anything was, it's not, our whole system was a house of cards before, and all this has proven that it is more of a house of cards. Which I, in the end, can't say is a negative. Because it needs to be reformed. The whole thing. Not just the court. Many things need reform. And looking at these ills, that sometimes that's what you can just hope. This whole time of screw-ups is just shining light on all these things that we need to fix. But anyway, I was thinking about, as I have, that we our country endures certain tests every 80 years or so. And I was thinking back to the Civil War and thinking that, like, the whole, think of it like the build up to the Civil War. And a lot of it, obviously, it was massively financial. Like the southern state, the Confederate states, they couldn't allow their whole economy and civil structure was the backbone of all of that was slavery. Right? If you go back to, like, 1840s, 1830s, 1850s, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, these were like it was the aristocracy of the day. Now, white plantation owners who could want for nothing. So, yeah, there was a lot to hold on to. And a lot of what the thought that drove the conflict was this thought of, we have states' rights. Okay? Virginia is, first of all, for Virginians. South Carolina is first and foremost for South Carolinians. Yada, yada, yada. Right? This whole idea, which is honestly what the original thing was founded upon. It was a union of these colonies, which each had their own interest and were their own thing, into one central thing. Right? So that was a big part of, like, the lead up to the Civil War. States' rights. You can't tell us what to do. We want to leave the club. We want to leave the whole federal United States club. We want to be our own thing. And they fought a war over that. Among other things, of course. But you look at what's happening now. And it's like, if the federal government starts to behave in a completely irrational and insane way throughout its various departments, right? Say at the head department, of health, not just looking at who we have now, but the head department of health is a crackpot who doesn't think that vaccines should be legal anymore, or this or that. It just basically sounds like he just wants to kill people for his own profit. Right? Or the entire federal Department of Education is going to be dismantled. Right? Well, the federal government comes up with this insane economic policy, like, just makes absolutely no sense. They just start doing insane things, which if said policies were enacted within your state, whatever governor of which state you were in charge of, if said federal policies were enacted, they would be a detriment to your state. I say then that if this is the case, if it can be determined that certain federal policies would then be a detriment to the inhabitants, the people of said state, well then, that state, based upon a need to increase, oversee the well-being of its inhabitants, would not need to adhere to said federal policies, right? Point being, if you're the head of health, federal health, and you want us to do away with vaccines, and we just know it's rational, intelligent, just sane human beings, we know that will kill our children, right? then a state's individual and collective sane judgment should be able to, yeah, we're not doing that. Same thing with education. If they just told everybody, like, go back to, like, oh, we're just going to have, like, and everybody's going to have a Bible in the room, and everybody's going to, have the 10 Commandments up, and, we're going to dumb everybody down. Well, no, we're not doing that. Right? And if need be, it could be coalitions. Similar to the vaccine one that I heard, California, Oregon, and Washington made. Right? You make coalitions. There comes a point when because what they are proposing is so insane that if they want to do it, they want to do that, and certain states want to follow that, well, then they can follow it. But at some point, based upon how it all was founded, states have rights. And if you are confronted as a governor with absolute and complete insane policy from the federal government, well then, you know what? You gotta, for the betterment of your constituents, you have to say no. And if need be, these states have to come together just to say no. That's a soft secession. It's not a true secession. We're still states, but we're not adhering to this vaccine policy. We're not adhering to this education, whatever it is. Right? Whatever it may be. But we're not doing that. Right? We're not doing that. Just as this movement, the MAGA movement, wants to glorify the Confederacy, well, the Confederacy was all for states' rights. The federal government's not going to tell us what to do. That's what they said. And what was the federal government really doing? It did. That all human beings should be free. And it didn't even tell you that. You just assumed it would happen. And fired on Fort Sumter. So. Again, we must prepare for them. They constantly say they all the time. There's a they, but there is definitely, if there's not a they as they want to create, there's a them. There's a insane movement that's like, it's just. But if they want to enact these policies in these states, I mean, I think that's the idea of a soft secession. And then at one point, it's like you have to withhold, like, everything you can do to prevent bloodshed. For one, the one side to come to its senses. And yeah, they want that conflict so bad. They want it so bad. They want it so bad. And part of this fight that we're going through is a fight of love. It's a fight of peace. It's a fight of I will bare my heart to you, but I will not raise my fist. And that will in the end bring them down. Because this is a time of awakening. This is a time to wake the American people up. That they don't want this. They don't want it. they don't want it. And we're going to get something better. We will. God bless. Bye-bye.